of gentle people, known as the city of Dumaguete, the capital city of Negros Oriental, where its coastal areas are backed by restaurants, lights, and the al fresco place in Pantawan Boulevard. It is God's creativity that made all these things possible, and by His word, God pioneered the Blessed Hope Christian Community Church International, Dumaguete City, through a service held in a building located at the intersection of Mabini and Santa Rosa Street, headed by Pastor Joselito Lijarzo in 2010. The city was not yet ready for their growth, but still, God is great and wonderful. The amazing part of the city is the numerous successful universities and secondary schools, where one of them was God's plan for the Blessed Hope to rise again. Just around March of 2016, a servant of God, Pastor Paul V. Damasco, together with his wife, Pastor Suzette Joy G. Damasco, was called to take the lead, firstly, by holding 2 stations of Bible study in Batinguel and Sibulan, with the help of Pastor Regine Alvenius, former Pastor Antonio Hamaro Sr., and Deaconess Sheila Carias. And God placed a church around June 2016 at Negros Oriental High School, where it held its first anniversary and Thanksgiving celebration. And on its journey of prosperity and blessing, the church has gone too far, reaching out souls, extending ministries, and outstretched arms of service, generosity, and benevolence. Along the journey, the church moved to Sister Dawn's house at Barangay Bugo, Dumaguete City. While having Sunday services, it also had its prayer meeting every Wednesday at Hamaro's Eatery, alongside Sibulan Port Road. And in a short period of time, just around 2017, the leadership of the church decided to rent Panda Ice Cream Function Hall at number 3 Silliman Avenue, Dumaguete City, for at least one service for a month. But God made it possible to have up to 4 Sunday services in a month. 2018 was also an experience of God's faithfulness for the church, for it was a great time for the church to have a comfortable and accommodating place, the Hotel Essentia. At the same year, evangelistic crusade, intercessory group, and outreach programs were initiated. The third Thanksgiving anniversary, last June 25 of 2018, was held at Sea Forest, Sibulan, Negros Oriental. This was the year where the church met new arising leaders through the installation of church deacons. 2020, God made great, awesome, and wonderful things in the midst of the pandemic. It was God's purpose to extend their help so that the church would grow, especially when God brought the church to Recuerdo de Jose, Motong, Dumaguete City, where it celebrated the 4th church anniversary, and even today, the church service is still going on. The church continued to grow, as well as the creation of youth uprising and legacy in 2021, with the community extensions, evangelism, crusades, Youth Sunday, and Youth Fellowship. Discipleship training is part of the growing system of the Blessed Hope community. It will never be forgotten, its 5th church anniversary and Thanksgiving, last October 17 of 2021, held at Dreamscape, Dumaguete, where new and existing leaders were installed. In January 2022, the church was able to expand the ministry through satellite churches to the neighboring towns of Dumaguete, as well as the growing ministry of worship leaders through prayer and fasting, team building, and installment of youth pastor, deaconess, the success of life group retreat, additional life group coaches, evangelism, and School of the Disciples training batch 2 around March and April, and even had new arising leaders of YAFC, or Youth Ambassadors for Christ, and FCSC, or Faithful Christian Steward Club. The leaders continued to lend their hands in the ministry for God's glory, with the partnership of the central churches in prayer and in service. Gihulngan by Pastor Josue Generoso. Manhuyod by Pastora Rebecca Binongo, assisted by Pastor Gerson Pakatang. Tanhay City by Pastor Yenan Sorinio. Amlan by Pastor Arnel Grafe. San Jose by Pastress Gina Estanil. Pansil Sibulan and Kendaway Dumaguete by Pastor Abel Villacampo. Magatas Sibulan by Pastor Jailus Quinto. Bulok-Bulok Sibulan by Pastor Regine Renius. Habitat 3 Bahumpandan by Pastor Reynan Tayong. Purok Kanangkaan Bahumpandan by Pastor Alfred Sulatre. Acro Community at Bahumpandan by Pastor John Estela. Tubod Bakong by Pastor Andy Handog. LGBT Group by Pastor Jeffrey Soherido. Panubtuban Dawin by Pastor Pros Abrasalon Gagaa. And Siki Hor by Pastor James Kublan. It is God's grace and unending favor that the church was able to withstand the rigors of life. Yet, the church is still growing because of God's faithfulness and unfailing love. Most especially, the victorious experience of the different growing life groups of Blessed Hope Dumaguete. The Catalyst by Coach Rand Margin Ruth Manalo. Overcomers and PWF, or the Panubtuban Women of Faith, by Coach Ivy Marie Gagaa. God Squad by Coach Elisha May Manalo. The Kuyas by Coach Charlie Aranas. CCW, or the Central Courageous Women of Faith, by Coach Suzette Joy Damasco. The 1st Madaugon Battalion by Pastor Pros Abasalon Gagaa. Followers of God by Pastor Reynan Tayong. Sisters in Hope by Coach Annalisa Quinto. Soldiers of God by Pastor Jailus Quinto. Sisterhood by Coach Gemma Navos. Soul Sisters by Coach Paula Don Ortaliz. The Survivors by Coach Warlita Gagaa. And The Victors by Pastoress Projim Faith Gagaa. With the life groups of BHCCCI Bahumpandan Dumaguete City. The Warriors by Coach Ardel Sarono. Acro for Christ by Pastor John Estela. Team Abundancia by Coach Marilo Villalon. God's Soldier by Coach Lyndon John Dizon. God's Girls, or the GGs by Pastoress Faith Lee Dizon. Mothers in Christ by Coach Nena Dizon. Fishers of Men by Pastor Andy J. Handog. The Goys by Coach April Estela. And Team Paangat by Pastor Alfred Sulatre. Every day is a celebration of God's sufficient grace, and today, the Blessed Hope Christian Community Church International, Dumaguete City, will continue to serve God and the community. Our God is an awesome God. He is great and mighty, as one body in Christ and in unity for over 6 years. To Him the glory and honor and praise and the adoration. Great is thy faithfulness.